Yes, welcome along to episode 6 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Gavin Lynch counting down to the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. Gavin, we're back.
Yes,
how are you?
I'm good. Congratulations, been nominated for Racing.
Oh, thank you very much.
Top 4. I would have voted for you.
Yeah, bit of a joke, wasn't it?
I'd probably be
Can you believe I didn't win?
Yeah.
I'm going to go like Donald Trump now. I'm going to demand a recount. David Carr, what the hell did David Carr win for? I'm only joking, Dave. My colleague, congratulations. Richly deserved Writer of the Year for 2020, Mr. David Carr. Richly deserved, Gavin.
Good.
How was your week?
Grand. Punting-wise was quite enough. No racing in Ireland on Sunday. So Saturday I was losing, but I had a few quid on a song for someone when the ground turned soft. Probably lucky to hang on.
Did you think you were up?
I did, but another couple of strides we weren't.
You were gone, yeah.
And got to play golf for the first time in 2 months, which was fantastic on Thursday. So
now, what viewers don't know is that Gavin Lynch is a superb golfer. What's your handicap?
7 or 8.
7. You'd swear he was owned by JP McManus. He is ridiculously well handicapped. How did you play?
Played okay. We got to play RD Golf Club.
RD, hi?
Yeah. A great course. Great
Lovely
back nine.
course.
My cousin Sean won the competition, so it was a good day.
Excellent. Were you happy for him or were you like me with David Carr?
No, I was happy for him. He's a nice guy.
Let's get on with the show. Yes, we're going to kick off with our questions from the crowd. Yes, where you, the viewer, gets to interact with myself and Gavin Lynch. You know where to send in the questions by now. They must know by now, Gavin.
I'd say so.
Yeah, put in a little comment under the link on YouTube. You can tweet me, you can put it on Facebook, anywhere you want. Just get your questions in, and we've got some corkers for you this week. The first one comes in from Paula Baldwin, and Paula Baldwin says her partner Chris Paris has had his heart broken by Crisp, who was caught on the line by Red Rum in the 1973 Grand National. He's never got over it, Gavin. Poor Chris Paris has never got over Red Rum catching Crisp. How was Crisp ever caught, by the way? Oh my God. Okay, what she wants to know is, have either of us ever had our heart broken by a horse? And I certainly have.
Okay. Look, there's lots of examples at Cheltenham. Even Annie Powerfall in the last was obviously a huge moment for everybody that backed it, and Gloria Victus back in the day. But just personally, I've been involved in a few horses, and also my late dad was a trainer. He trained a horse called Mr. Houdini to win a listed race in Leopardstown one year under Mick Kinnan. And he was a family...
Glencairn Stakes, was it?
Yeah, good man.
He told me that before the show.
But he was a family pet. He was a gorgeous horse. He used to peck Dad on the shoulder every morning when he'd go down to see him. And we ran him one day on Go Ground in Bellewstown. We shouldn't have. He was never the same horse afterwards. So that was emotional. And then when he passed away, and he was like a family pet, so I'd say.
You're a big softie, aren't you? People think you're this hard punter, but deep down you're a big softie. Well, mine goes back to the 1994 King George, Paula. It was Barton Bank. Clear at the last under Adrian Maguire. I still remember it so well. I was sitting in my granddad's sitting room, and Adrian Maguire was a local. He was from Kilmessan, only a couple of miles down the road, and he's clear in the King George. At the last, I was probably playing with my toys, my little digger and stuff, and I was watching the King George, and Adrian fell at the last. And I think my dad had backed Barton Bank as well, and so my granddad, and they were devastated. And I couldn't stop crying because he'd fallen at the last. So Barton Bank, I was only 9 at the time.
You were 22 at the time.
Yeah, 9 at the time. Barton Bank broke my heart in the 1994 King George. Our next question this week comes in from Brian Catterson, and Brian wants to know, what is the best non-winning Cheltenham Festival ride we've ever seen?
Good question.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
You actually know Brian?
I do. I play golf with Brian. I'm going to give you a few as usual.
Go for it.
I never give you one answer. What would you make of Whisper in the RSA? Davy Russell to keep going against Might Bite and nearly win. That was a good ride.
I'd say I'd love to know what he's traded on Betfair. When he went by, he must have traded 102 or something.
He must have.
Yeah, okay.
Harbour Pilot, Paul Carberry, PC in the Gold Cup, the way he kept best mate in at the bend, I thought was a touch class.
Yeah, excellent.
And he was only beaten a length and a half by a far better horse, so it was a very good ride. But for me, undoubtedly, unquestionably, the greatest ride I've ever seen that got beat at Cheltenham is Archibald, Paul Carberry, 2005 I think it was, against Hardy Eustace. It was a Maradona, a Messi moment. No other jockey in the history could ever do what he did. To me, he didn't wait too long, because afterwards, when they went back to Punchestown, Noel Meade, who gave out to him over the ride, said, I want you to go a bit earlier. He went earlier at the last and Punchestown. He got beat by Brave Inca. Okay,
you say it was a Maradona and Messi moment.
Yeah, amazing.
Would Maradona or Messi not have scored rather than hit the crossbar?
He just was on he was on a very, very good horse, who loved flatter tracks, Newcastles and Kemptons and all those. And we've seen some great rides by Paul. And actually the previous year, Paul, I don't give Paul too big of a head because our 2 daughters are on the same football team, is that the previous year he gave Archibald a terrible ride in the county hurdle. Got there way too soon. And he didn't come up the hill that year. So Paul learned his lesson to come later.
Okay, I agree with that. But when we're talking about coming later, I was in the stands at Cheltenham that year, and I was halfway up the run, and just say, and it was actually surreal watching the champion hurdle, because here was Paul Carberry passing me 100 yards from the line, still hard on the bridle. Yeah. People watching this will be saying, Gavin, should he not have went 20 yards earlier, 30 yards earlier, 50 yards earlier? Should he not have maybe got his head on front at some stage? Would you agree that he could have got to the front at some stage?
He probably could,
yes.
But a couple of things. One is, if you look at the video again, which you did yesterday, as they're going by the line, Hardy Eustace has gone away from him again. He wouldn't have beaten him on the day. Hardy Eustace was as tough as anything. And for him to finish beside even Brave Inca and Hardy Eustace, he just was fighting against two tough boys.
Yeah, well, fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion. And I think it was almost the greatest non-winning ride I've ever seen. As in, I would have just said maybe 20 yards earlier, go. Just go and find out. I thought it was one of them rides where you needed to find out.
Well, he did ask in the last 50 yards.
But like, I'd kick a football that far. Like, do you know?
It was an amazing moment.
One thing, we want to move on, I know, but one thing that really bugs me in racing is that when Archibald goes down in history, he will be remembered as a bit of a rogue. People say, he's a bit of a rogue. When he hit the front, he did nothing, blah, blah. And yet we'll remember horses like Dino's Beano. And we'll say, he was great. McCoy used to beat the shite out of him to try and get him to win. And what a horse. You know, all these horses that need serious riding and you have to get stuck into them. We all think they're heroes. Oh, look at him. Look how much he found for pressure. And here's Archibald, who does everything on his own, and wants to race and wants to do everything. And he's a rogue.
Yeah, because the day...
It's kind of a wrong concept.
I know what you mean. Yeah. The day he won the Christmas hurdle, he was so far behind
Rooster Booster.
So... he was a
great
horse. Yeah.
Great horse.
Who's your best rider?
I'm going to go for two recent rides, and it's actually from the same jockey, would you believe? I would say Sharjah in last year's champion hurdle was a terrific ride. I tipped him up on the show. He was well beaten by a much superior horse, or filly in this case. I just thought Patrick to ride Sharjah out the back in a champion hurdle, sitting a couple of lengths behind the last horse, riding him cold in a champion hurdle for an amateur. I thought it took balls of steel to do that, and he did that. And a similar type of ride, I thought when he was beating on Wicklow Brave in the Coral Cup, again, sitting out the back, letting them all get on with it. He came there, he hit the front, coming down to the last, and he was just caught on the line by, was it Whisper?
Yes.
Was it Whisper?
Yeah, I think so.
Whisper, so it's a timely...
Well done.
Yeah, there you go. So that was our best non-winning Cheltenham Festival rides for Brian Catterson. And our final question this week in our questions from the crowd segment comes in from Kevin Hogg. And Kevin wants to know, if we could change any result of Cheltenham's past, what would it be and why? There's a theme on this week's questions from the crowd. It's heartache. Yeah. We're remembering times of punishment. Gavin, if you could change any result from a Cheltenham Festival,
as usual, Dave, I never give you one answer, so if you give you a few.
How many have you got?
I don't mind that. Annie Power has obviously won, because the bookie chappies would have lost their brains, which would have been nice.
Yeah. Because
the whole general public was on Annie Power, so that would have been good. My brother's horse, Rule Supreme, was third in the Stairs Hurdle 2005 to English Drever and Barracuda.
Vintage renewal.
Like, they won 5 stairs between them, so he was third in that. That would have been nice if he'd won. But I'm going to say number one is Min, because when I was second in the Supreme, I ended up having it in a good few multiples. Some of the others all won. So expense-wise, that was expensive. Okay. But luckily it was the first race of the week, so I didn't know there was a lot of money going on.
It was only at the end of the week you realised
you went, oh.
You could have been retired. You mightn't have been doing this show, Gavin. So when Min was beaten by Altier, I'm going back to my childhood. I'm going to go back to 2000. I think I was 15, or 14. Direct Route being beaten by Edredon Blah in the Champion Chase. That famous Champion Chase. I just love Direct Route because, Gavin, this is where it all started for me. Why I loved bridle horses was because of Direct Route. Because he travelled so strongly in his races. I used to love him running Tinkle Creeks and everything. Storm and Norman, sitting like a mouse on Direct Route. And the reason it caused me such heartbreak was because I never got over the result, because he had to have won. Like, it was one of these evens that's still on the line, the replay. Every time you watch it, you think Direct Route has passed the post in front, and it was just McCoy being McCoy and a brilliant ride in Edredon Blah.
A bit like Hill Society in the Arkle.
Oh, Hill Society in the Arkle, yeah.
No need.
Oh, that was sickening as well.
Another heartache, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. That was our biggest, how would we say, heartaches? Our biggest heartaches of festivals past, Kevin. So it's time for the week that was. Yes, the horses who have caught Gavin Lynch's eye since we saw you last, Gavin. And there's only one place to start, Gavin. There is only one place to start. And it has to be Cheltenham on Friday.
Guess who's back? Mr. Fisher. No, we're going to start on Tuesday in Punchestown.
Can you not start with Mr. Fisher?
No. We just stick to the routine.
Great teacher.
So we're going to start with Tuesday in Punchestown. Cape Gentleman. A horse who won the Irish Harwich by 2 lengths off 85. I think he's rated 96 in the flat. His jumping was Excelente, except for one mistake that he made down the back.
Really which wasn't really a bad mistake. He just overjumped it,
He reached for it, He's 14-1 for the Ballymore. The Ballymore is certainly starting to hot up. Every week now there's been a new horse added to the list, but he's definitely one to consider. On the same day, Eclat de Rire only ran 4 times, has now won 3 times. It won a beginner's chase over 3 mile 1 from the No Mead horse.
Schoolboy Hours,
by 3.5 lengths. And it's 25-1 for the RSA. Don't know if he'll be quick enough for an RSA. Might be a National Hunt chase horse maybe. Also on Tuesday in Fontwell, a horse called Nazalam.
Yeah, I like this horse.
There's a lot
I was tempted to put him up this week, only for I love Zana here so much,
Okay. It was second in a hurdle race in France last June, but it's had 2 runs for Gary Moore, and it's won only by 59 lengths.
Yeah.
And it also won the other day by 49 lengths.
In fairness, he's beaten me and you.
He has.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we'd beat the horse he's beaten.
He was evens the first time. The other day he was 1-12.
Yeah.
He does jump a little bit to his left, which is fine for Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Just to allow.
And I just wonder, like, obviously we're going to compare him to Goshen, last year's Goshen.
Of course.
But like,
he jumps the other way.
Yeah, he could be just another one of these freak juveniles that Gary Moore has found. Like.
But you're going to see lots of juveniles win by 20 lengths between now and March. So that's just the way it is.
Okay.
He's 14-1 for the Triumph.
Okay.
On to Thursday in Warwick, Zambella, a horse who previously she had beaten Stormy Ireland in a chase previously at Bangor. She's now 2 from 2 over fences. She won a listed mare's chase by 3 3/4 lengths at Warwick. But the problem is that she jumps to her right, which won't suit a Cheltenham. So just to tell you that.
No.
She's 16-1 for the mare's chase. On to Friday, and your favourite horse.
Let's be honest here now. What did you think?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
The rescheduled Peterborough Chase run in Cheltenham.
Yeah.
It's the same track as the Ryanair. The Ryanair is a half a furlong further.
And the same track as the March where he ran so well before.
He did. I don't think Nico de Beinveld said he won't give him as bad a ride in the Ryanair as he did in the March. So just that's.
Why did he say that?
You think he said that? Yeah.
Did he?
It's 20-1 best price of Bet365, which seems a big price.
Yeah.
He'd have to have a chance.
Yeah, I like the way he kind of grew up halfway up the running. So my confidence was on the floor with Mr. Fisher. As you know, viewers of the show will know, I thought Mr. Fisher was the real deal. And the Paddy Power Gold Cup, if you think a horse is the real deal, you think he has to win off 155. And I was deflated. I was questioning my involvement in racing after the Paddy Power Chase, because I said, if that horse is pulled up in a Paddy Power Chase of 155, I know nothing about racing. So he's kind of got me back.
Yeah. He gave Kalashnikov £3. He beat him by a length and 3/4, but Kalashnikov just didn't have the firepower.
So have a chance in the Ryanair. Sorry?
I said Kalashnikov didn't have the firepower on the way up the hill.
That's very good. Very good.
On to Friday in Punchestown. Captain Guinness, who's only a 5-year-old, he's 16-1 for the Arkle. He jumped very well. He beat Midnight Run by 4 3/4 lengths. What they said is that there was a problem in Tipperary, and he has an atrial fibrillation. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
What is it? Can I tell you?
It's something to do with your heart, anyway.
Yeah. It's an irregular and often rapid heart rate when the 2 upper chambers in the heart experience chaotic electric signals.
Oh, now, I think I have that.
So Captain Guinness is a 16-1 for the Arkle.
Value?
I just want to see it again. This heart thing is...
You need another pint.
Yeah. I'd be worried anyway.
That was good, wasn't it?
It was. Saturday in Cheltenham, Adagio won the first race at 4-9.
Now, these Triumph Hurdle horses, I know I get carried away with them. I love him.
But they all can't win it. So
I know they all can't win it.
Calm down.
But like, I know Zana here has set the standard and you've tipped him up and he's brilliant. But Gary Moore's horse and David Pipe's horse, they're very good.
Yeah, they're good. Dufflecoat beat it the last day, so just to keep things in perspective.
Yeah, hit the front too soon though. Okay.
Next one, we have Foozle Raffles and Chantry House. Just a mess for a race, I thought.
I couldn't make head nor tail of that.
No. Like Lieutenant Rocco looked a winner one stage.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
And Foozle Raffles coming to 2 out looked well beat.
Goosed.
It was his first run beyond 2 miles and it seemed to definitely suit.
Yeah.
Himself and Chantry House want good ground, but I couldn't be having either for Cheltenham really.
Either Chantry House gone?
Yeah, sure. I mean, he'd want to make a Lazarus recovery from there. He's 20s for the Marsh and Foozle Raffles is 16s for the Marsh.
Okay.
It was 7 seconds slower than the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup, so it wasn't even a quick race. Sky Pirate was impressive. It's his 17th run of his career and it's his first run in 2 miles. They've always been beyond that. He's always been a bridle horse that has frustrated punters. Lots of people would have put him into lay the other day because he travelled great at the second last and not win. But it seems like the trip is the key to him. I didn't know.
Okay.
But he won the other day of 134. I think he's got a £10 penalty since.
So he could be Grand Annual horse. Definitely.
Because as I said, he's unexposed. It's his first time at 2 miles. He won very easy. Got a very nice ride from Tom Scudamore, I thought.
Lovely.
But he definitely have a chance in the Grand Annual.
Okay.
Also on Saturday at Cheltenham, Chatham Street Lad.
Well,
Mick Winters feeding him.
Go on.
Cooking apples?
That was terrible. That was, of all your impressions.
Sorry.
Go on, give us Mick Winters.
Not doing it now, yeah. Mick Winters, a legend. I'd love to...
You'd love to talk like him anyway.
I'd love to have a horse with him or something. He's just fantastic, man.
Oh, what a man.
Like, fellas like him and Oliver Brady.
And fair play to Brian Sheeran in the Racing Post. Got a lovely story with him in the lead up to the Saturday, saying if he won, he'd roll around in the muck. Live on, I was going to say Channel 4, live on ITV, he rolls around in the muck. Well done, Brian.
He's a great man. That horse is still a novice.
What do we make of him, Gavin? Was it too good to be true?
I don't know. He had been very impressive in Cork when he made a bad mistake 3 out. He definitely stayed the 2 mile 5.
Yeah, I didn't think he would stay.
Yeah, the ground was very soft and he handled no problem. I'd imagine he'll come back for something like the Marsh.
Any threat to your beloved Envoy LN?
I wouldn't think so, but he's now up to the mid 150s, so he's a proper beast. He travelled great, 1 or 2 mistakes, but as Mick says, he's a bulldozer, so it doesn't matter if he makes a mistake or two.
Yeah, absolutely. Any chance of that impression again?
No. Make Good, maybe later on we're having lunch. Mick Winters feeding him. Make Good is now 20 to 1 for the Albert
John
Bartlett.
McConnell, what a resurgence.
Yeah.
He's having a great year.
That horse had 29 runs in the flat, rated 69 in the flat only, imagine that.
Make bad into make good.
He had 6 runs over 2 mile-ish, 2 or 2-1, and he stepped up to 3 mile, won by 7 lengths. Just, I wouldn't say a huge amount for the staying novice hurdlers in England. Like, I looked there for the Presbyterian Cup. Ireland are 1-4 to win the Presbyterian Cup, and Britain are 4-1. Never thought
Probably
I'd see
value 1-4, is it?
Could be. On to...
See, somebody on Twitter actually put in a request to one of the bookmakers and was like, can I get a price on 26 plus, 27 plus, and 28 Irish winners at Cheltenham?
Well, France will win the cross country, so there you go. Song for Someone, just about hung on from Silver Streak.
Good shout by you.
Yeah, it was all right. Silver Streak was a little bit unlucky. Song for Someone is 16th of the champion hurdle, but the thing is, to keep it in perspective again, is that Silver Streak has been well bet by Epatton twice. So that form isn't good enough. The first 6 home were covered by 4 lengths. So
Gavin.
They're not going to win the champion
Gavin,
hurdle.
Goshen, discuss.
Again, it's the atrial fibrillation. That was the excuse given, which I'm sure is totally correct. For me, he'd have to do a huge amount more. Like, he's 20 to 1 for the champion hurdler. You wouldn't back him at 50s, would you?
Do you know one horse that I think could win a handicap at Cheltenham? County hurdle. I couldn't put it up because it's too early for handicaps now. Verdana Blue, county hurdle, written all over her. Written all over her.
But she needs to go ground, though.
She needs to go ground. Yeah, it's county hurdle, Gavin. It's March.
Mightn't be.
Well, anyway,
just to say to you about Goshen, Gary Moore said afterwards, in future, he said, he's a bit claustrophobic. We're not going to put him amongst horses. He's going to be let stride on from the start. So there's a guaranteed pace angle for the champion hurdle, which will suit Epatton and San Roswell.
Abracadabras.
Yeah, true. Saturday in Fairy House, Brandy Love bolted up on the bumper. She cost 200 grand, but she looks cheap now.
Do you know who Brandy Love, the original Brandy Love was?
No.
Do you know?
No.
She's a porn star.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
No. So next for the Dublin Racing Festival, she's 16 to 1 for the champion bumper. Will she go there? Will she not? God knows. Willie has sent 1 or 2 mares to it. He sent Augusta Kate and he also won it with Regulate. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But
she looked very good.
Very, very good, yeah. Also in Doncaster on Saturday, another 3-year-old that was very impressive is Mon Morale for Paul Nichols.
Yeah, wouldn't have him now ahead of the pipe or the Moor horse, but yeah.
Just to say to you, last March, I think it was, he beat Hell Red and O'Ty. But as we now know, the Triumph Hurdle is not a novice hurdle. It's just for 4-year-olds.
It's just the Triumph Hurdle.
So now he's 3 from 3 and he looks a decent horse. He's only 10 to 1 for the Triumph. On to Sunday rather in Carlisle, Sextant.
Yeah.
Interesting horse.
Yeah.
Used to be owned by the Queen and trained by Michael Stout. Is got a flat rating of 105, won a list race in the flat, and is now with Keith Dalgleish. At the start of the race, didn't jump so well, but in the end it did.
Yeah,
It won by 6 lengths.
Okay.
And it's 33 to 1 for the Supreme, but a very, very high class flat horse. And then on to Nace on Monday.
Yeah.
Delvino beat your horse, Castrovedere, by 4 lengths.
Yeah, wasn't a good day for my Ante-Post picks.
Not particularly. It was a fast time, 4 minutes 11 was a good time. Delvino was definitely the best horse. One thing to note is that the trainer has said that it needs soft ground, so it'll only run when the ground's
owner is
soft.
just not, like we've spoken on the show about how Cheltenham is the be-all and end-all. The owner doesn't think Cheltenham is the be-all and end-all and is a big fan of going to Aintree with horses. So just if you fancy Delvino, like she might turn up there, but just be careful.
Yeah, she needs soft ground.
Because he had the other good mare that I tipped up for the race last year that didn't go, whose name escapes me. I'll remember by the end of the show.
Okay. 16 to 1 for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. Echoes and Rain won the first very easily, poor race by 15 lengths. Is 20 to 1 for the Mayor's Novice. And Take Tea was ultra impressive in the bumper.
Ultra impressive.
Ultra.
I'm glad you didn't mention the beginner's chase, Gavin.
No,
Thank you very much.
Just to be nice.
Yeah.
She's 16 to 1 for the champion bumper. If the horse I tipped up, Kilcroot, disappointed, maybe Willie might send one of the mares for the Cheltenham bumper. You wouldn't know.
And Lord Royal, worst ever selection I've ever put up in Upping The Ante.
Look, he's
it's just up there, isn't it?
He's been disappointing, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the week that was.
Yeah, we weren't saying that earlier on, were we?
No.
That was the week that was. Now, Upping The Ante viewers, the countdown might be on to Christmas, but the countdown is on to our special offer as well. You've only got a small amount of time to avail of this remarkable offer. UP50, type that in, Racing Post Ultimate. Become a Racing Post Ultimate member. Use the code UP50 and you get the first 3 months half price. So it's a few free bets for you. UP50, half price, 3 months. Type it in, Racing Post Ultimate. So every week here on Upping The Ante, we preview one of the big races at the Cheltenham Festival. And this week it is the turn of what used to be known as the RSA Chase. So we'll call it the ex-RSA.
Okay.
So the ex-RSA prices with Bet365 at the minute. Your Albert Bartlett winner, Monkfish, is 130. Next destination is 10 to 1 along with Envoy LN. Then we've got the big breakaway and... What am I missing here?
Latest exhibition
at 14 to 1. So 12 to 1 the big breakaway, 14 to 1 latest exhibition, and it's 16 to 1 bar. Gavin, Monkfish, 130 value or not?
It's about the right price. Would I back him at 130 at the moment? I don't think so. It's short enough. Very, very impressive in Fairyhouse. He beat on the ropes. Handy enough. That horse rate, I think, 137. Winner of the Bartlett. He looks a chaser, for sure. Let's see how he goes at Christmas. He's the right favourite, Jay. Would I back him at that price? Probably not, no.
Viewers are going to be watching this and they're going to see 10 to 1 Envoy LN. Will I just chance him just in case?
No, don't back him at 1,000 to 1. He'll go for the marsh. In fairness to Gordon Elliott, when he says a target for a horse, he generally sticks to it, so he'll go for the marsh.
Okay, next destination.
Yeah, he was off for 2.5 years. He ran well in Wetherby and then he won over fences in Newbury. Looked in trouble 3 out, 2 out, but he's a very, very honest, tough horse.
Age, Gavin, age. What about the age? Is he a bit old?
Yeah, he's probably getting that way. And the old course with the RSA has ran on, you need a bit of gears for when you turn in 2 quick fences in the line, and I just think he might get outpaced.
Okay, the big breakaway. Now, I think with the big breakaway, I think we should just be a little bit forgiving, okay? Colin Tizard's horses are very in and out at the moment. I thought the big breakaway hated every minute at Exeter. Hated. Even at the start, I was watching and going, do you know what? I'm not happy with him. I don't like the way he's travelling. Don't like the way he's jumping. And I think he hated making the running for starters. Something he'd never done before. He did it at Cheltenham, obviously, but he just didn't enjoy himself.
Okay.
And I think Caught a Star Novice Chase, it looks like it's going to be him, Shan Blue, a couple of others. You'd imagine he's the most ability in the race. I think he might win the Caught a Star Novice Chase. And I think... He's just won. He's still a baby. I think we just have to be a little bit forgiving.
All right. He was 4th in the Ballymore, just to point out, first of all.
And travelled terrible the whole way through.
Yeah, and then he won it at, say, over 3 mile in Cheltenham. The last day was only 2 mile 3, so the trip at Christmas will be a lot better. He'll have to jump better, travel better. Shan Blue is going to be out the front.
Jumping brilliantly.
Jumping brilliant.
Yeah.
So he'll have to jump a lot better. I just would have to see him. I couldn't back him at the moment anyway.
Okay, we've 16 to 1 bar. Obviously, latest exhibition was 14 to 1. Latest exhibition almost beat Monkfish.
Yeah, in the Bartlett. You could maybe argue that latest exhibition, his best results are possibly going left-handed, so just to allow for that.
Okay.
He'd have to have a chance. Trained by Paul Nolan, he's 14 to 1. He hasn't much to make up on Monkfish, but just the last day was disappointing against Pencil Full of Lead. Pencil Full of Lead is 16 to 1, even though he beat him by 7 lengths.
Definitely has a chance.
Yeah, he looks a far better chaser than a hurdler. And also a horse to point out, Easy Work, who's 20 to 1. He was 2nd in the Ballymore, so he was well ahead of the big breakaway in that race. If he went that way, I think must have a good chance. And Energamine is always worth a mention in every novice chase. Absolutely. We don't know where he's going to go, but...
We don't know where he's going to go. Don't know what he's going to do, but we kind of love him.
Yeah, no, he's a good horse, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a line on Pencil Full of Lead. There was a Zoom call ahead of the Leopardstown Christmas Festival last week, and Jamie Codd was on it. And one of the lines that I thought was very interesting, he said one day he could see Pencil Full of Lead winning a Gold Cup. Which I thought was interesting.
I thought you were going to say a Grand National, but yeah.
No, he said a Gold Cup, which I thought was quite interesting for Pencil Full of Lead.
I'd say it's probably a bit more open than just Monkfish.
Okay. Monkfish the most likely winner, but we wouldn't back him at that price. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so an alternative at a price is...
maybe Easy Work.
Okay, I'll go the big breakaway.
Okay.
Going to give him another chance. So it's about time you found out what's happening this week, and the feature race is at Ascot on Saturday, and it is the Long Walk Hurdle, and it is the rematch of Time Hill and Paisley Park. But me and Gavin are going to tip something else in the race. Oh my God. Gavin.
It should be a good race now.
It should be a cracker, and it will have ructions in the Stairs Hurdle market.
Obviously, this time they're at level weights, so Paisley Park has not given £3 to Time Hill, but I'd still think Time Hill will come out on top on those two.
Okay, but
I just think the Roxanne at 7-1 is excellent each way value.
Agreed.
The famous thing of the mare's getting the £7, which is way too much. She gets it again. Her record over 3 mile is excellent. She was very, very good in Weatherby. The ground's going to be soft. She'll be fine with that. I just think each way, I think she's nailed on to be in the first three.
I can just see her turn it for home, and Harry Skelton absolutely sitting like a mouse, and Aidan Coleman hard at it on Paisley Park. Time Hill is probably just leading, and I just think he could just pounce.
Yeah.
Could just pounce.
And if she did win, they're on about going to Aintree instead of Cheltenham.
If she wins, she has to go for it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if she turns up the stairs, yeah.
So we think 7-1 Roxana. We both agree is cracking each way value.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree. Now, Gavin, the Sky Bet Supreme Novice Hurdle Trial is on Friday, and it's a race that interests you.
It does. Dusart, I think, is 5-4 favourite. I genuinely, yesterday, was going to tip up Dusart for the Supreme Novices Hurdle, except his price went from 16s to 12, so I'm just going to leave him.
Sickening. 16s to 12s.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's probably just because the race is coming on Friday and he's entered. But I was very, very impressed with him in Newbury. Nico said that he was one of the most exciting horses he's ridden in a long time. I'd imagine he'll win. My Drogo is second favourite. He'll beat them. And
an intermediate chase on Saturday you want to talk about?
Graduation chase. I think you could definitely do worse than back Caribbean Boy. I think he'll win. He beat Fiddler on the roof the last day. Nicky said that he wasn't maybe fully fit. He'll improve. I was very impressed. He's a brilliant jumper, and he'll beat Itchy Feet. Okay,
he will beat Itchy Feet, according to Gavin Lynch, and Gavin wants to talk about his the home action, Gavin, at Navan on Friday.
Navan on Friday, really good card. Bob Ollinger has entered in a couple of maiden hurdles. Colreevy and Yukon Lille are entering the chase, but also there's a future champions bumper. And Sir Gerhard, and let's be clear about it, belonging to Gavin Cromwell, they look two excellent horses. I'd love the two of them show up together. That'll be a right race. And then on Sunday in Thurles, there's a listed Mayor's Novice Hurdle, and Sace Gold might drop back from 3 mile to 2 mile, we'll see.
Excellent. So plenty to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's what's happening this week. So just before you get to find out our latest Ante-Post picks for the 2021 Cheltenham Festival, we're going to have a very quick look at our portfolios so far. And we'll start off with mine, Gavin, just to get it out of the way nice and early so you can wax lyrical about your own. Mr. Fisher obviously was a good result for me. Looks to have worked himself into the Ryanair.
Definitely an each way chance, definitely.
Yeah, definitely an each way chance. Unfortunately, Lord Royal, gone.
Gone, yeah.
Gone. Castro Vetera wouldn't necessarily completely give up.
No.
Elixir Dane looks like he's had a setback. He's been entered for loads of races, hasn't turned up. So we'll have to see. Hopefully he comes out in the new year. Sorry to Burlade, there's been a bit of money for that. And Brave Man's Game, both shorter prices. So it's okay, Gav. It's okay. But it's only December. Yeah. It's only December.
You've gone for some big price ones we've said before.
I have, yeah. It's different approaches.
It is.
Yeah. Your list obviously much better, as you would come to expect. You're the expert, sure.
No.
Sorry to Burley obviously as well, 7-1. The double still working out much shorter price.
Yeah, I think it's 8 or 9 to 1 or something now.
Yeah, plenty of money for Kilcruit.
Yeah, I think it's into 10s, is it?
Yeah, you know well it's into 10s. You're checking the prices every day of the week.
And yeah, sure, it's grand. So it's a long way to go, but it's an okay start.
Yeah. Well, so far, if you were to give your selections a mark out of 10, where would you?
Sure, whatever, 7.
7. Okay. So I'll give mine a 3. There you go. That's our Ante-Post portfolio so far. So it's time for our latest instalment of Ante-Post picks for the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. And Gavin had 2 last week. I only had 1, so I'm going to have 2 this week. Gavin's going to have 1, so we're going to even it up. And my first selection it's the captain, Gavin.
Okay.
I'm bringing out the captain, and it's a big price. It's 16-1 Colreevy for the Mayor's Chase. Gavin, I can't believe this price. This is last year I got min on the team sheet. I've been waiting for weeks for Colreevy. I just wanted to see her maybe once more, but she's entered at Navan on Friday. She's entered in all the big races over Christmas as well, so we're going to see her in the next couple of weeks, so I had to get her in there. This Colreevy, I think, could be a star over fences. She took my breath away when she won at Punchestown. Just loved jumping, enjoyed herself. She beat good horses there, Gavin. The big dog was in there, Datsy was in there, and she destroyed them. Very, very impressive. She was only rated 135 over hurdles. She finished 5th in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle at Cheltenham, but she's a big, strong, imposing mare, and I think fences are going to be the making of them. When I did Willie Mullins' stable tour with him in the Racing Post, he was convinced that fences would make us see Colreevy in a completely different light. And I think he's right.
She won the Grade 1 bumper against Abracadabra.
She did.
She battled Abracadabra.
She did. She did. Yeah, that's a fair achievement. And I just think, right, okay, at the moment, the Mayor's Chase is a new race. It's a bit all over the place because we don't know what's going to run. Do you know certain horses for certain races you can say that's definitely going to run there, that's going to run there. She's only a novice, but I think when it comes down to it, I think Benny Juju will run in the Mayor's Hurdle. Okay. I think she will. I think we're not going to see her before Christmas. Obviously, she's only going to have one run before Cheltenham. I think she will go for the Mayor's Hurdle again. Okay? And that just opens up the race completely. Salsarette is in there, but I just think Colreevy, 2.5 miles, Cheltenham. She has a touch of class. She's a Grade 1 winner. She's 16-1. I just think she's a star. And I think if she wins her next chase, I think she could be favoured.
You'd be hoping to put the kettle on, stays in the champion chase and doesn't appear in the Mayor's
You would,
Chase.
and I think Henry will. An Arkle winner, won the Slore. I think he'll go for the champion chase.
So you've got a girl captain of your team.
Yeah, I've got a girl captain, Colreevy. The captain is in, 16-1. Mayor's Chase, Colreevy at Bet365. That is my first selection. Now, my second selection this week is also a horse trained by Willie Mullins, and it goes by the name of Blue Lord. Yes, I know you're watching, you're going, Blue Lord, I've never heard of that horse. And plenty won't have heard of that horse. Blue Lord won a maiden hurdle at Punchestown for Willie Mullins last month. And it only won by half a length, okay, from Julie Stowaway. I love the way he jumped. And liked his attitude. And I thought Paul Townend won snug enough at the line, okay? I thought it was. You
knew at the last he was going to win.
You knew at the last he was going to win, even though he jumped a little bit out to his left at the last. You knew at the last he was going to win. And I thought it was one of those performances where the winning distance didn't reflect his superiority over the field, okay? Now, he was only okay in France. He won his third start, a 10-runner race. And there's a chance that he could need a little bit further.
That'd be my only thing. Yeah. It's a good selection. I just think it could end up over 2.5, but maybe I'm wrong.
And he's entered in the Grade 1 at Punchestown, or at Leopardstown on the 27th, the novice hurdle. Patrick Mullins seemed to think that that's probably where he was going on a Leopardstown Zoom call last week. And I just think the supreme market at the moment, you've got Ballyadam, that's where you were going to tip Dusart because it's so open.
It is open.
And you're trying to find something that just could be a little bit above average, that could end up a single figure price on the day and you're getting a huge price about them now. That's the way I'm thinking. Blue Lord has a long way to go to be a Supreme Novice Hurdle winner, but there could be big improvement to come. He's a brilliant jumper who's got, I think, a touch of class, and I just think he's better than what we saw at Punchestown. So Blue Lord, 33-1. I like my 33-1 chance. 33-1 for the Supreme Novice Hurdle. Blue Lord, it's my latest tips. Now, Gavin, they don't care about mine. They don't care. They're gone. It's out of the way. All they care about, what's your tip? Now, you're going to tip Dusart.
I was.
That's gone. So this is a last minute substitution.
It is, yeah. It was only, I went through it this morning for an hour.
That is very last minute.
That's very late, yeah.
That's 93rd minute in injury time.
It is. I'm taking a bit of a chance here. Which
you don't take chances.
No, normally I'd like to know that a horse is definitely going for a race at Cheltenham but anyway, I've taken a bit of a chance and I'm going to go for Easy Work at 20-1 for the RSA. I think Easy Work's a very, very good horse. He won his first 2 starts over hurdles, including he bolted up over 2.5 on heavy ground in Limerick. Staying is not a problem. He was then second to steering for launch over 2 mile, didn't have the gears for 2 mile, went to the Ballymore, looked like come to the last he was going to be third. But if you watch it there, which I did this morning, he stays on very well up the hill to finish second to God himself, N-Violin.
It's himself, is it?
Himself. And then in Navan, Easy Work, beat him bittered. Again, at the second last, it looked like he might be at a spot of bother, but he stayed on really well.
Form looks strong.
The form looks strong. That ran a very good race against Andy Dufresne and made a couple of mistakes late on and bittered. So I think the form is very good. And I just think they won't, because Gordon Elliott trains, and now it's a different owner than obviously N-Violin, but I don't think he definitely won't go for the Arkle. He wouldn't be quick enough. And I think he won't go for the Marsh simply because of N-Violin. And if he runs in the RSA, like he was second in the Ballymore, which is 2 mile 5. The RSA, I think, is 3 miles and 80 yards. So it's only another 3 furlongs. I think he'll stay. At Christmas, even if he runs in Limerick and maybe even finish second to a steering for launch, who's better going right-handed, that wouldn't worry me. And I just think at 20-1, like we were saying that the Tizard horse who was way behind him in the Ballymore is 12-1. So I think 20s, if he shows up there, he certainly won't be 20.
You know what, Gavin? It might have been a last minute panic pick, but it's your best one so far. It is your best pick so far. It's clever, it's well thought out, it's thinking ahead, it's a bit of class. I love it. I just love it. 20-1 for the RSA.
I'd love to see him running the 3 miler novice at Leopardstown, but I'd say pence full of lead might go there. So as I said, if it was second to a steering for launch, that still might be good enough for him.
Yeah, Love that. 20-1, easy work for the RSA Chase is Gavin Lynch's latest selection. So folks, that's it for this week's show. Episode 6 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 is done and dusted. Gavin, what do we have to look forward to?
Well, I suppose Christmas has, it's 10 days to Christmas, but as my dad used to say when I was a gosson, he used to say there was 11 days to Leopardstown.
11 days to Leopardstown.
Or Kempton and Limerick.
Do you know what they do now? They call it sleeps.
Do they?
Yeah.
Sleeps.
Yeah, 9
But
sleeps to Christmas, 9 sleeps. So you're not wouldn't be a sleeps fan.
Not really. No. But anyways, 11 sleeps to Leopardstown.
See, you're catching on.
Yeah. But we're getting close to the end of 2020, which probably suits everybody.
It does, yeah. 2020. Good luck. We've had enough of you. Good luck. You're gone. 2021 is going to be a very profitable year for Gavin.
Please God. But considering it's the week before Christmas, actually some good racing this weekend. So
there is plenty to look forward to.
Yep.
Have you Anne-Marie's present bought yet?
I do.
That's such a lie. Listen, thanks for watching. This has been episode 6 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365. We're back next week. We're back. We're not even missing a week. We're back next week. We're back in between Christmas and New Year.
Every Tuesday.
Unbelievable. That is serious sacrifices being made for Upping The Ante. So if you're having a bet this week, don't forget to gamble responsibly. Only bet what you can afford to lose. Thanks for watching.